You can't fade my nigga Black Rosebud with these jokes, my nigga. You don't wanna tangle with Black Rosebud when he starts roasting niggas. Truth be told, you don't want that smoke. Now you're the butt of all the jokes. The king of comedy, running these motherfucking streets. Jokes on top of jokes, no one can compete. Left feeling incomplete if you try to heckle. Watch Black turn into Mr. Jekyll. Nobody got time for the YouTube beefs, especially when you running these YouTube streets. Comedy done like no other. Welcome to the stage, Black Rosebud, one funny motherfucker. You can't fake my nigga Black Rosebud with these jokes, my nigga. You don't wanna tangle with Black Rosebud when he starts roasting niggas. Truth be told, you don't want that smoke. Now you're the butt of all the jokes.
You don't want to be the butt of all my jokes. You do not want to be the butt of all my jokes. This thing on. Hey, what up, chat? Do a quick show why this damn game is coming on. Now, you know Joe Biden done a criminal. Joe Biden done a press conference on how he was gonna stop crime or help prevent crime in America. You know what I'm saying? He said he was gonna help. I don't know how he was gonna do it. His plan is fucked up, but this is what he said he was gonna do. Now, I don't think people know what the truth is behind the Second Amendment right. I don't know if people on here know the truth behind it. You feel me? I've been doing a little research, but I don't know if y'all truly know why that they're doing this. Let me look in the chat and let me see if anybody up in here know why is the Democrats trying to take away your Second Amendment rights. And then I'm going to prove it to you. Somebody get it up in here. I'm going to prove it to you. Let's see who up in the chat. Let's see who. Let me see. Russia coming after UK. Told them stay out. No, that's not it. That's not it. Showtime Green. What's up with it? Ron Matthews, Richard Gallagher, Miss Black Barbie. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the donation, Miss Black Barbie. How you doing? Anybody know why in the hell that the Democrats are trying to take away your Second Amendment rights? Y'all don't know why? Don't tell me that y'all don't know why the government is trying to take away y'all Second Amendment rights. And where this happened before? This doesn't happen in history before. Let me see. NWO, nope. So the NWO can gain control. Oh, that's a good one. NWA, that's a good one. NWO, the New World Order can take control of the United States. Now, I want you to pay real close attention to Joe Biden's speech. And I put in a couple of clips, with the show Violence in America. Here we go.
Crime is historically rises during the summer.
I don't know if y'all saw this. It historically rises during the summer, right? But not at this rate, and not at this percentage, and not at this wrath of rage and violence and shit like this. It haven't been seen like this since the early 90s, right? Now, it's been a lot of police shootings. I don't know if you been looking at the news, but there was a police shooting in the Bay Area. Dude opened the door. So police was called on him, right? As you can see, he was, I see the wife leaving, so her shirt is ripped as a dude, beating up his wife and beating up the kid. He was beating up the whole household, right? Now, this happens, right? Now, when you get all this, police is guilty and all this old shit, and police should hold back. The police are now risking their life because now the police are scared to come to your house prepared because you might say, oh, he threatened me or anything. He acted aggressive and he shot me or anything, right? So now the police are timid when they come to the house, which is a big mistake because criminals are taking advantage of that. Case in point.
The wife leaving me, so her shirt is ripped.
And there's a lot of people?
Huh?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. This is not on. I'm not screen sharing. Wait, I'm not screen sharing. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I'm not screen sharing right now. I got a screen share. My bad. My bad. Y'all cancel that right there. I am not screen sharing. I got to screen share this thing. I got to be smarter than that. I would have been talking and all that shit. I'm glad I wasn't. I'm glad I wasn't going too far in the video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just saw the damn first part of it. Here we go. Now here we go. My bad, y'all, on the early part. My bad on the early part. Here we go. Let me rewind this a little bit. Right. Now this is Joe Biden right here. Let me play a couple of clips.
Crime is historically rises during the summer.
Here we go. What? Oh, wait a minute. What? Why didn't play the whole damn movie? I wanted to play the whole damn movie. Why this thing tripping? Hold on. We want to play the whole movie. We playing the whole movie.
Crime is historically rises during the summer.
Why is doing this shit? We want to play. How you go to the movie? How you go to the movie? We want to go to the whole damn movie.
The right meeting.
Let me go right here. This thing tripping.
Crime is historically rises during the summer.
I see the right meeting, so I don't. Her shirt is ripped.
There's an on appeal?
Huh?
There's an on appeal?
Yes, and then you female and a child. It looks like the female's bleeding.
Stockton Police Officer Jimmy N. was dispatched to the call and arrived on scene at 10:07 a.m.
Everything seemed calm. They had a report. It was a spousal abuse next door. It's a spousal situation, domestic violence next door. So he came timid, not prepared. Look what happened.
Hello.
Right? Because of the police not coming to the house armed no more and prepared, you know what I'm saying, at least be in defense mode, right? You get shit like this. Hold on. It's not playing? It's playing? Hold on, wait. It's still not playing. Wait a minute. I don't see this thing playing. Hold on, wait a minute. What the hell is going on? Oh, it's playing. My bad. It's sharing. Now, right? His partner is shot on the porch. Dude came out and shot his partner in his face. His partner is dead, right? And the second part of this, how this officer get timid, after the dude shoot his partner, beat his wife already, beat his baby mama, he strangled his kid. He come out and he's strangling his kid. Now, this officer can't approach because, like I said, he got an innocent victim in his hand. And what's the consequences of him hitting the dude, killing him? Then you know what everybody gonna say. Oh, he should have shot him in the arm. He should have disarmed him. He should have done something else, right? But he served his purpose and he done right.
58 shots fired. Shots fired. Partner's down. Jimmy, you all right?
Jimmy dead.
58 shots fired. My partner is down. Code 3 now. Jimmy, stay with me. Jimmy.
Look what happens
Don't
when
do
you
it.
shot the police,
Let the
shot
kid
his
go.
window.
Don't do it.
Now he's choking his son.
I want you. Let the kid go, man.
It took a neighbor to tackle him.
I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill you.
He's telling them to kill him.
Don't let the kid go, man.
He's choking his son.
50, I need units code 3. He's strangling.
He's strangling his son. He got it. He just beat his wife. That's why they called, right? Shot the police officer in the face. Now he's choking his son. This officer ain't approaching. He's not taking any offense or to help the victim or anything like that, because we know what happens when you help the victim nowadays, and the victim and the suspect is black.
The kid and my partner is down. Let the kid go. Let him go. Let him go. Let go of the kid. Hey, firm, we're on the corner.
He just got tackled. See how he got the kid right there? Slow mo. See how he got the kid? The dude just tackled him right on the ground. That's when the officer approached. They got the kid on the ground. They got the dude tackle the suspect.
For folks at home, here's what you need to know. I've been at this a long time. He's been in government 47 years. He never did a thing except in 1994 when he did such harm to the black community. And they were called, and he called them super predators. And he said that. He said it, super predators.
And look, how is Joe Biden right? How was how is it that the dude that was tough on crime in the 90s, talking about locking black folks up, we super predators, all of a sudden got compassion now, right? He got sympathy. We all need to come together. We need to let everybody out. We need to pass this. If you look it up, Joe Biden is the reason why education was taken out of the prison system. Google it if you don't believe me. Joe Biden. Look up Joe Biden and prison education. Joe Biden took education out of prison because there was people going to prison and they was offering college courses and things like that, and there was people getting out of prison because prison is really for rehabilitation, but people was getting out of prison with trades and skills and stuff like that and diplomas and shit like that. Joe Biden cut all that out. Google it if you don't believe me. Huh? Been hurting black people since 1994. And guess what? He about to hurt black people again because guess what? Joe Biden said he getting the task force. He getting the task force to catch criminals, supposedly. To catch murderers, supposedly. Because niggas is out here out of control in democratic cities.
And they have never lived that down. 1994, your crime bill, the super predators.
If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now.
Your response to that, Vice Chair?
My response to that is I never, ever said what you accused me of saying.
And Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
I don't know how Joe Biden can get up there and lie right in America's face and nobody calls him out on it. Donald Trump called him out on it, but we got a moderator right there act like she never heard this 1994 crime bill speech, doesn't call him out on it in front of the world. Huh? You got mainstream media don't call him out on it in front of the world. The same one that's talking about George Floyd police reform is the same person that locked black people up with a crime bill. Think about it. He got a police reform and he got a crime bill. He locked niggas up. Now he's telling the police don't lock niggas up.
And there are things we know that work that reduce gun violence and violent crime, and things that we don't know.
Crime bills that you supported in the 80s and 90s contributed to the incarceration of tens of thousands of young black men who had small amounts of drugs in their possession. They are sons, they are brothers, their fathers, their uncles, whose families are still to this day, some of them suffering the consequences.
It was a mistake.
Huh? How is you correcting that mistake, Mr. Biden? Huh? I think Joe Biden owe more reparations than most of the motherfucking slave owners. Because guess what? Joe Biden, your victims are still here. Why don't Joe Biden pay reparations? Or is that what he's trying to do? He's trying to cleanse his soul. Huh? The 94 crime bill has done more damage to black men today than any parts of slavery in slavery history. Huh? The crime bill in 1994 and really of the 80s was before the 1994 crime bill. The crime bill of the 80s and the 1994 have put more black men in prison than slavery. Cause remember, it wasn't you said it was a war on guns, but it was also a war on drugs. Huh? Why don't you pay these people reparations, Mr. Joe Biden? Your 94 crime bill is still affecting people. I know people still locked up today. People still can't get jobs. People still can't live in certain areas. People can't apply for certain assistance. People can't apply for certain programs. Huh? People can't live in certain places. People can't have certain jobs because of your 94 crime bill, Joe Biden. So why don't you start with that?
I've been trying to change the sentence, particularly the portion on cocaine, because I think the American people have now seen that, in fact, it was a mistake to pass those laws related to the drug, but they were not in the crime bill. Background check.
You're a damn lie.
For purchasing a firearm are important. Ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. No one needs to have a weapon that can fire over 30, 40, 50, even up to 100 rounds. Unless you think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests or something.
What about everybody talking about gun control, semi-automatic weapons and things like that? Well, you have more people dying from knives than semi-automatic weapons. You have people carrying knives, so what you gonna do? Ban knives next? You can't carry a knife this amount of inches or this amount of long, or you can't have a knife in your house to protect yourself. What's next? Guns, then knives?
That guy Yes.
Did you guys see it?
No, but that lady, I just pulled up and she was bleeding, so I kind of got whatever my first aid kit, but I talked to her.
This guy right over here is what you're saying.
That dude?
I could see her about, I would go to the bathroom and I came back.
Hey, he's got the knife in his hand. Yo, put the knife down.
What are you gonna do? A, charge the police. B, run for it. B, surrender. Or D, negotiate. Which one do you think you're gonna do? Run for it, charge the police, negotiate, or surrender? Right? If you know how black people are today when they getting arrested by the police after they done assaulted somebody, what do you think this dude is going to do and put the police in position to do? Huh? What do you think this dude is going to do? What we're going to see right now.
Put it down. Put the knife down. Taser. Put the knife down. Stop.
Expressed outrage over the violence.
If he wouldn't have shot him, he would have been gone.
Pisses me off. I was up there talking with residents and neighbors who are also upset.
I don't even know. I can't.
Welcome to Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Brian Wayne.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. Thank you for joining us. We begin with what police are calling a mass shooting during a Juneteenth celebration in Aurora.
Investigators say there were multiple shooters, and now they're trying to determine exactly.
I want to know what this got to do with guns, right? These people, I'm pretty sure the people that got these guns didn't go to no gun shop to get these guns. The people that got these guns aren't registered gun owners. The people that got these guns don't give a damn about you doing any type of laws because they're going to get their guns through black market, illegal sales, robbery, theft, thief, burglary, all kind of stuff. You're not going to stop these criminals from getting guns, right? To protect themselves, to take over to revenge, gang banging, drug wars. You're not going to stop these people from getting these guns and protecting themselves or taking over shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to do either offense or defense. You know, somebody gonna come at them if they ain't got one, and they may go after somebody else if somebody came at them already. Huh? So you're not gonna stop these people because sometimes these guns are used for economic crimes. I'm gonna rob somebody, or I'm gonna rob this, or I'm gonna rob that, and I'm gonna get the money so I can support myself. Huh? I'm gonna rob this dope dealer right here. I'm gonna rob this 7-Eleven. I'm gonna rob something. But the shit is going down. It's not white supremacy that we need guns for. is, that we need to take away guns for or give more guns to, right? It's because, I hate to say it, because of my people. We out here savages. Look at the shit that's on the news every night. Ain't no white supremacy on the news in Chicago. Ain't no white supremacy in the news in New York, Detroit, Los Angeles, the Bay Area. It ain't no white supremacy. It's black folks. We're on the news every day, savagely killing people, youngsters, multiple people, shooting up Juneteenth, Father Day events. We don't give a fuck. We can't even have a Juneteenth celebration, the first one in history. It was marred by a fucking shootout. Think about this. They're giving black people a holiday. They're giving you something you can celebrate on and say, this is our day. And what you do, you kill somebody on it.
Exactly who they are.
Denver 7's Patrick Perez is talking to people who saw it all happen.
Police are calling this a mass shooting. It happened near the corner of Mississippi Avenue and Peoria Street. A Juneteenth party happening inside of this strip mall spilled into the parking lot, and that's when police say multiple shooters fired their guns.
It sounded like war.
A witness to Sunday morning's mass shooting inside this Aurora strip mall describes it as chaos from every direction.
We were out trying to celebrate Juneteenth, and I think it just got reckless.
Police say a man was killed and 4 other people were injured when multiple shooters fired at a large crowd around 4 a.m.
Basically, where we're at right now, this is a really big crime scene. We've collected over 114 shell casings.
The crowd was gathered in this parking lot after spilling out from a Juneteenth celebration happening inside this venue. Tebes Abraham and her friends tried to escape as quickly as possible.
I drove to get out of the parking lot.
Speak with detectives. They really need the community's help to find who did this.
This was no doubt a terrifying.
Man, you're talking about finding the white supremacy and rooting out the guns and shit like this, while the people who doing the murdering with the guns are walking the street scot-free. You're not looking for them. You're looking for people who selling the guns. Well, these people want to get guns regardless. Some of these guns, you can get a fucking printer gun. You don't have to register. It ain't no serial numbers on it or nothing. It come from Mexico. They got guns come from over the border, overseas, all that shit. The border is open. You can bring guns over this motherfucker. You can do anything. Bring guns and dope and all kind of shit from Mexico. They making a killing over here.
So McCoy with Aurora Police says some of the witnesses have been hesitant to speak with detectives. They really need the community's help to find who did this.
You got the community scared to talk to the police, right? You're talking about community policing and things like that. When you have the crime so high in these communities and the murder so high in the communities, it can't be no community policing because the people that's doing the shooting ain't fit to talk to the police, and the people that want to report is scared to talk to the police. So who you gonna get to talk to the police? You can't be a police officer and go to somebody's house and be friends with them and talking to them and tell them what's going on in the neighborhood, because you become the next victim. So these people are even scared to whole community meetings and whole rallies about gang violence and getting the community together, because guess what? They may be next. And the Biden administration and Ms. Harris and all them motherfuckers ain't doing nothing about it.
This was no doubt a terrifying experience for everybody here. And it's one that we want to investigate swiftly and get.
We know that if there is a strict enforcement of background checks, then fewer guns get into the hands of criminals.
And joining us now is Dr. Stephen Holbrook, attorney, historian, and a research fellow at the Independent Institute and the author of a great new book.
And if you want to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
Right? If you need weapons to take on the government, why would he say that? Why would he sit up here and say if you need weapons to take on the government, what you need? Who is he talking to? Huh? Why you not talk? I thought this was about taking guns off the street for gang violence. I didn't know this was talking about taking on the government. Wasn't no guns used on January 6th. So who was you talking about? I thought this was about talking about crime in America. I didn't know this was about rebelling against the government. Why is you worried about that? And now it was one incident of that this year, right? And there's been over 1,000 incidents around the country in gang violence, murder, kids being murdered, multiple shootings, right? You're focusing on one date when you have multiple days of other shit happen.
The point is that there's always been the ability to rationally limit the type of weapon that can be owned and who can own it. And
Rationally eliminate.
repeat, zero tolerance. If you willfully sell a gun to someone who's prohibited from possessing it, if you willfully fail to run a background check, if you willfully falsify a record, if you willfully fail to cooperate with the tracing requests or inspections, my message to you is this: we'll find you.
See how he's going after the gun sellers instead of the people that shooting the guns? It's the debate. Do guns kill people or do people kill people? That's the debate. He's saying guns kill people. And everybody knows the reality, people kill people. Huh? Guns don't kill people kill people. So you're more worried about the selling of the guns, illegal guns. Like, people ain't gonna get them illegally. Like if that's the case, you can if you can do that, you can stop the war on drugs tomorrow. If you can say, you know what, no more drugs. If you can say no more illegal guns, and that's going to stop the illegal the illegal gun selling. Why don't you do the same thing for drugs? Alcohol, whatever the fuck you think is addictive. You can end it tomorrow if you can do that shit. So we're going to eliminate how guns are sold, and that's going to stop fucking gun violence. That's like saying we're going to eliminate how alcohol is sold. We're going to put restrictions on alcohol is sold, so we're going to reduce drunk driving. If motherfuckers want to get drunk and hop in the car, they're going to get drunk and hop in the car. You're not going to stop them, even though it's illegal. People are still going to do shit illegal, especially out here when it's a survival tactic. It's a survival. It's out of survival that you got to even carry a gun. Like I say, you can defend yourself with a gun out here. If you're out here in the streets, you can make money with your gun, right? You can feel secure with your gun. You can intimidate with your gun. You can do a lot of things with your gun, right? So you saying taking the guns and you getting shit off the street, you think that's going to deter somebody? Impossible.
And we will seek your license to sell guns. We'll make sure you can't sell death and mayhem on our streets.
He worried about death and mayhem. You can't sell death and mayhem on the street. Like stopping and regulating guns so people can't buy. You think these are registered guns that people are firing out here and shooting people with? Huh? You think it's registered gun these 15-year-olds out here in Chicago is carrying? You think it's registered guns that these people are shooting the police with? That's opening doors, doing domestic violence disturbances calls? Do you think any of these guns are registered to any of these people that they went to the guns? They went to the gun store and filled out an application and had a background check and paid somebody to allow the application so they can get a gun? You think a gun shop, as much as guns they selling legally, is fit to even risk that? Gun sales are at an all-time fucking high. They don't have to sell no shit illegally. They making damn good money legally. Think about it. What the fuck they need to risk getting their license taken, getting their shop shut down, losing their livelihood because they want to sell a nigga out of Illinois a gun with no license? Huh? Who's gonna risk that? When Susie, Bobby, Ricky, and Jerry, and Todd, and all them motherfuckers come in every day buying multiple guns legally. They buy a gun for their kids, their grandmother, their auntie, all kind of shit legally. I don't think it's worth the risk. It's not like they starving for sales. Gun sales went up 300% last year. Violence went up 200%. Gun sales went up 300%.
It's an outrage. It has to end, and we'll end it. Period.
Police say at least 2 or 3 suspects approached the 6 victims and opened fire, dozens of shots. One of the victims was just 16 years old. Another died at shock trauma.
They're emboldened because they think they can. And because they either don't fear consequences or they suspect that there are none.
Huh? They don't fear none, or they suspect that there are no consequences.
Or a combination of both.
Huh? When you fear that, when you go out there and you shoot somebody and 90%, it's a 90% chance that you're going to get off, guess what you're going to do? You're going to feel influenced. You're going to feel emboldened to go out and shoot somebody else. Fuck it. I ain't get shot for the first 3 murders I've done. I ain't going to get shot for this one. I ain't going to get caught for this one. They ain't even looking for me. I ain't even a suspect. They emboldened.
But there are consequences, and you've seen us now arrest a bunch of people for murder. This will be another one of those cases.
Homicides are up year to date in the city, including a fatal shooting in broad daylight outside Mondawmin Mall this week. The mayor says gun arrests are up as well.
We're going to go down and track these people down like we have been. This is why we have a 51% penetrate rate for homicides.
Police were back on Lexington Street today at the scene of the...
Second, we discussed disrupting illegal gun trafficking. Now, the gun lobby wants you to believe that cities that are had the toughest gun laws still have the highest rates of gun violence.
Nearly 2 weeks since that tragic mass shooting in Austin. It's on 6th Street left 1 dead, dozen others wounded. Authorities are now searching for a new suspect in that shooting.
And this as crime is up 200% in Austin, reflecting the overall trend in an uptick of violence in cities across this country.
Democratic cities, right? But Joe Biden don't want to worry about the violence in the city. He want to worry about the guns. What about the violence? It's people killing people with knives. It's sexual assault that's up. It's robberies. It's batteries, assault and batteries. It's everything is up. Everything is up. It's just not crimes with guns. Drug deals is up. Everything is up. Right? You got drugs coming in through the border of Mexico. So guess what? These youngsters out here getting them drugs and selling them. Is this not fucking guns that's causing a fucking community to be violent? It's also, I mean, it's drugs. It's sexual oriented shit. Motherfucker want to take pussy. Race, I mean, the other day, it was race. In the community, Asians and blacks. It's not guns. Most of the Asian people that was getting assaulted when you passed the Asian crime bill didn't get assaulted with no gun. Sticks, bats, bricks, fire, water, gas. Huh? I didn't see too many Asian people doing the Asian hate crime get shot.
As pointed out by the group we had today on our roundtable, the violence is, so they argue, why do you need those gun laws if they don't work in cities that have tough laws?
Nearly 2 weeks since that tragic mass shooting in Austin. It's on 6th Street left 1 dead, dozen % in your city. We are talking about also 10 mass shootings we've seen in the country just since Friday, 300 in 2021. I guess we could expect some uptick once people started.
10 mass shootings since Friday. This is new. This was today. It's been 10 mass shootings since Friday. No white supremacy, no Trump supporters, no I don't know how many Republican cities, but most of the cities was Democratic ran. 10 mass shootings. Right? But the only mass shooting they gonna do is if a white dude go into a Chinese Asian prostitute massage parlor and do some shit, right? Or somebody white do some shit, you know, they're gonna go and say, oh, this is a mass shooting. No matter if it was a church, a chicken place, a rally, anywhere. It was a mass shooting. But I guess this is like this a drive-by or anything like this. But multiple people was getting shot, 7, 8, 9 people at a time. It's not this one person getting shot now. 2 people getting shot. It's 7, 8, 9 of them at a time. 10 mass shootings since Friday. 296 mass shootings already. That's over 1.5 mass shooting every single day. Huh? All with illegal firearms. Huh? Police getting killed. All with illegal firearms. Niggas doing drive-by, all with illegal firearms. Robberies, all with illegal firearms. 296. 90% of them shootings were black people.
Coming back out and right, we started opening back up. But is something else at play in your opinion?
Has to be, and it doesn't look like it's tied to local policies or decisions because it's happening across the country.
But they refuse to say what cities they're happening in. What cities? It's happening all over the country. That's all they say. They don't want to say, they're quick to throw out some cities, but they don't want to say, oh, these are Democratic ran and Democratic cities and Democratic states. They don't want to say this shit. They say all around the country. Everybody doing it.
Don't believe it. Here's the truth.
Something happening for sure that's undeniable. I know you met with mayors across this country, and you, along with mayors from Dayton, Chicago, Houston, Savannah, demanded that President Biden take action to do something, yes, about this massive uptick in gun violence. He's expected to make an announcement later today. What are you hoping to see and hear from President Biden?
Today's conversation with Mayor Scott of Baltimore, for example, echoed what we know to be the case and hear from mayors all across the country. Mayor Scott says that 80% of the guns in Baltimore were acquired outside the city. Outside the city.
Outside the city. That's a damn lie. Wasn't no guns acquired outside of the city. That's a lie. Right? They required, all the guns you get is going to be required to come from outside the city. Ain't no gun factories inside of Los Angeles. They all going to come from outside the city, outside the country. You trying to make it seem like, it's different cities in California or different cities around the country that's manufacturing guns when it's everybody doing it.
There's little he can do about that. So we have to act.
Gun control in the Third Reich, disarming the Jews and quote unquote enemies of the state. And it's chilling if you try to, carry it to extension to what could happen one day, God forbid. I'm not saying under Obama. I'm just saying what could happen in any country.
This right here interview was from a while back, right? This right here was from 6 years ago, right? They was trying to do the same gun reforms under Obama that Joe Biden is trying to do right now. Take your Second Amendment rights away from you, right? And guess who done this before? Fucking Hitler. Hitler done this, right? The Germans done this to the Jews. Made all the Jews register their gun, right? And then took that shit. All your guns now belong to us, the Third Reich. That's what they're gonna do to y'all ass right now. That's what they're gonna do to you right quick. Hold on, let me see something right quick. Let me. Did you hear about? Oh wait, it's a suspect out right now. They're gonna take a small commercial break. I gotta go put some money in the car, right? Take a small commercial break. I don't know if y'all saw this dude right here, right? Where we at? This dude right here, and this shit right here. Let me push play right here.
Marshals now in.
Here we go, right here. Well, watch this right here. I'll be right back. Now watch this shit right here. This dude is still on the loose. This has happened, I think, yesterday. This dude right here is a cop killer that's still on the loose. Now, Joe Biden not saying nothing about none of these cop killers that's loose out here, that's at large. Why don't you ask the community to help this officer's family with some justice? Get some help for this family. Huh? But instead, you want to sit up here and you want to talk about the gun manufacturers, but you're not talking about the people that's using the guns.
In the search. Our team coverage continuing now with News 6's Mark Lehman live from where all this began along Kingston Avenue in Daytona Beach. Mark.
Yeah, and during that last update, we learned more about what investigators were able to recover from the shooting scene. It happened right here behind this apartment building in the parking lot here. Now, police say they searched the unit where the suspect's family lives and found several high-capacity magazines, firearms, including a rifle and boxes of rifle ammunition. This coming as we also learned overnight more about what led up to the gunfire. Daytona Beach police releasing body camera video of the encounter. They say one of their officers was investigating a suspicious incident on Kingston Avenue. The video shows the officer speaking with the suspect identified as Othal Wallace and asking him if he lived at the apartment complex. He also asked the suspect if he would sit back down in his car. It's important to note the officer remained calm the entire time. Wallace, meanwhile, says, "Don't do this," and started walking away. That's when police say Wallace shot the officer in the head and fled the scene. Now, police say Wallace may be in a gray 2016 Honda HRV with a California tag of 7TNX532. We've learned he has a lengthy criminal history with more than a dozen arrests. Wallace has previously faced charges of domestic violence, battery, and carrying a concealed weapon. As we come back out here live this morning, police say they do have leads on the suspect, but nothing specific. Again, that manhunt has also been expanded to include the U.S. Marshal's Office. A $100,000 reward is being offered for information leading to Wallace's arrest, and anyone who sees him should call 911 immediately. For now, reporting live in Daytona Beach, Mark Lehman, Getting Results, News 6.
Hold on, that's what they film an immigrant movie next to my house. But wait a minute, we can't do that. We can't play no Nationwide. I came back right in time. But they filmed a Mexican movie by my house today about immigrants, a cook and a seamstress fall in love, so they rented out all the parking spots. I mean, apartment, so you can't park. But anyway, back to what I was saying, right? Now, this was done before. They taking rights and stuff. They taking people's Second Amendment rights. And this was done before. Like I said, Hitler done this. You know what I'm saying? Germany done this to the Jews, right? Now, if we don't be careful, history is gonna repeat itself. And then we're gonna be subjugated to give our rights over to the government if we let them take it. And guess what? They have total control because you have no way to defend yourself. And if you do get something to defend yourself, guess what? It's illegal. You can't match up with the criminals no more. You coming out there with a 10 shot, they coming out with their Uzis and M16s and AK. How you gonna match up? You got a little pea shooter. Here we go.
But talk about what the Nazis did.
And his dog whistle, the white supremacy.
And who are the Nazis right now? Trump supporters, right? So it was Nazis that was it was Jews that was dangerous back then to Nazis. Oh, they dangerous. We must take their guns. Guess what? It's Trump supporters or conservatives, which is called white supremacists, or the bad people today that are the people in society that we have to watch. We have to take their rights away. They're dangerous, right? Because we have a different belief system than them. We're dangerous now. You notice how everything Joe Biden say about Trump supporters, right? He don't necessarily say Trump supporters no more. He don't necessarily say conservatives no more. He say white supremacists, and he put all that shit in the shell. The politicians, oh, that's white supremacy. Oh, that's racist. You know, the politicians got to be racist. The supporters for supporting the politicians got to be racist, right? The people who speak out, they have to be racist, right? So no matter who you are in this conservative ladder, you're racist on some type of level. And Joe Biden repeats that. How do you make something come true that's false? You keep on repeating it till somebody believe it. So every chance he get, Donald Trump is a racist.
When asked would he condemn white supremacy, he said he didn't say a word. And then when I said, well, how about the Proud Boys, which is a white supremacist group, he said, well, I just told them to stand down and stand ready. Stand down and stand ready based on the outcome of the election. As part of our strategy, the Justice Department is creating 5 new strike forces to crack down on illegal gun trafficking and the cartels supplying weapons to cities like New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and the Bay Area.
Huh? all democratically ran. But watch this though. Look at the similarities to what Hitler has done and similarities to what Joe Biden is doing.
Well, the story really begins in the 20s, the Weimar Republic. There was a lot of political violence, and they thought, well, we can do something about it. They had the same gun debates as today, but then they thought, well, if we can only license gun owners and register them, that will help calm things down. And, of course, the communists and the Nazis who were fighting each other, they didn't register. I don't need no license for nothing. You know what I mean? That was their attitude.
And what's happening right now is all kind of political wars and things like that, where they're saying we need to get it's an insurrection, it's this, it's a white supremacy out here, it's a hate group out here. We need to disarm them. We need to investigate them. We need to do anything we need to do because these people are dangerous. And you have MAGA saying, wait a minute, I'm not going to give you that right to register my gun. You got conservatives saying that. So it's basically the same thing. You have one group saying, we're about to take your gun, and you have another group saying, I'm not about to give it up. So guess what? If they pass a law and you don't give it up, right, all of a sudden you become a criminal.
Well, I'm excited to see the attention and the increased focus on this issue.
Park. And it turns out the Tampa woman killed and
Hold on, wait a minute.
The others, including one in the ICU, were friends or family. Investigators say the suspect, 22-year-old Raphael Tyree Thomas, is also from Tampa. It's unclear what led up to the shooting.
It was absolute happening.
Ain't nobody worrying about no permits when you got niggas out here like this.
Stance. Our suspect brandished a firearm and started shooting at the other person.
Deputies found Thomas hiding under a car, dragged him out, and immediately located the 9mm handgun used in the crime.
I doubt that gun was registered. I doubt this dude right here can register any type of fucking firearm. I doubt it. I guarantee it. I don't know no motherfucking shop in the world he can pass a background check. So wherever he got that gun from, right, was illegally sold. And I guarantee it wasn't from a fucking gun shop.
He has a record of charges in Hillsborough County that include aggravated battery on a pregnant woman, robbery with a firearm, and being a felon in possession of a firearm.
Look at all that shit. But Joe Biden don't want to concentrate on people like this. He want to concentrate on people who make guns that sell to people who protect themselves.
With these strike forces, local and federal law enforcement and prosecutors are going to be able to better coordinate the prosecution of illegal gun trafficking across city and state lines.
Prosecuting, right? Prosecuting. They finna start prosecuting people. But look how this shit compares to what Hitler used to do.
So law-abiding people registered. And when they passed the registration, that was at the end of 1931, the equivalent to the Attorney General said, do not let the records fall into the wrong hands, the hands of radical elements.
Radical elements. Who is Attorney General who is Attorney General right now? Remember, this other interview was 6 years ago. Now watch what Attorney General Garland is saying right now. Let me rewind that just a little bit. Just a little bit. Right here.
When they passed the registration, that was at the end of 1931, the equivalent to the Attorney General said, do not let the records fall into the wrong hands, the hands of radical elements.
Do not let the record fall into the wrong hands. The hands of radical elements. And what Mr. Garland sit up here and say, who's the Attorney General right now? Look how close this shit sound to this dude who was talking about this shit under the Barack Obama administration.
Our current effort comes on the heels of another large and heinous attack, this time the January 6th assault on our nation's capital.
So, illegal guns sold from the back door of a gun shop in Virginia don't end up in a murder scene in Baltimore.
And within 2 years, the radical elements took power. Hitler.
Who is the radical elements right now? Huh? The radical elements. Who is the radical elements right now? It ain't Hitler. Who is more radical than fucking Joe Biden and the Democrats? Huh?
The National Socialist Party took power in 1933.
The National Socialist Party took power in 1933. You see how they copying all the Hitler shit? I should rename this title. I was going to rename this title, but I didn't want the YouTube people like, this motherfucker done figured some shit out. He's saying that Hitler and I mean Joe Biden and the Democrats are following Hitler, plan to disarm people, taking their Second Amendment rights, disarm them, and subjugate their ass to whatever fucking rules and laws that they put in place. This is Hitler. Who's the fucking racist?
They immediately used the gun registration records to disarm and attack their political enemies.
Who? Hey, they're going to disarm you and attack the political enemies. Who does that? Who's disarming their political enemies so they can attack them? We need the white supremacy. The white supremacist is the enemy. We got to attack them, but first we got to disarm them. We got to take away their Second Amendment rights so they have no way to fight back. Or we have a way to go up in there and say, "Hey, man, we know you're doing something illegal. We got to take this, and if you refuse, we're gonna put you in jail and incriminate you. Now you got to pay lawyers and doctor fees and all this sort of shit and restaurants, this and this, and you will never be able to have a gun again, huh? Not even a small gun." Think about it. If they take your big gun away and now you're a criminal, you can't go and apply for another gun. You're a criminal. You've been in jail. Now every time you get caught with a gun, guess what? You can't even buy a 38 no more. You're a criminal. You ever been to jail? Yes. For what? For having a gun that wasn't supposed to. An illegal firearm. Well, we can't give you this gun. We can't give you this gun because now you went to jail for having an illegal firearm, an unregistered firearm. We can't sell you this gun no more, sir. So we don't know how you're going to defend yourself. Well, I got to get a black market. Guess what? Where you get this gun from? I got it off the black market. Guess what? You're going to jail again. Now your ass is just like anybody else. You're going to be like a nigga on parole, huh? Every time you get pulled over to protect yourself, guess what? Your ass going to jail. All because you didn't want to turn in and register your M16. But hold on, wait, rewind just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Nation's capital.
So, illegal guns sold from the back door of a gun shop in Virginia don't end up in a murder scene in Baltimore.
And within 2 years, the radical elements took power. Hitler, the National Socialist Party took power in 1933. They immediately used the gun registration records to disarm and attack their political enemies.
We have now, as we have then, an enormous task ahead to move forward as a country, to punish the perpetrators, to do everything possible to prevent similar attacks, and to do so in a manner that affirms the values on which our justice system is founded.
They said they're going to punish you. Oh, they're going to punish your ass. You heard? They're going to punish the political enemies. Who done that? Hitler. Straight out of here in the playbook. Who the fuck done that?
And upon which our democracy depends.
Huh?
Be the Social Democrats and the others, the same ones who had passed these registration laws to begin with.
And if they do, then local and federal law enforcement can better coordinate to trace illegal gun sales back to a shady gun dealer and hold them accountable.
So now, look, now guess what? You're going to make the people who buy the guns, you're going to make them criminals, and you're going to make the people who sell guns criminal. Guess what? Guess how you're going to be able to get a gun now if you get it from the government? Government issue. Huh? Everybody got to have a government issue. What? We got to make sure we're going to take all the guns and we're going to give you some. We're going to give you ours, what we want to give you to protect yourself. Anything else is going to be illegal. It's going to be a government issue. It's going to have a safety and a latch and a timer and a sensor and a camera and soft bullets and shit. And they're going to have water shooting out the motherfucker with bleach. Huh? They're going to take your shit and give you one. Like they want to take your car and give you one. Government control. What you think it is? You think it's going to stop with an M16? Pretty soon they're going to say, well, wait a minute. They got 9mm. I know we said 10 or more shots, but they got 9mm with 18 shots, some with extended clips. So guess what? We're going to have to ban them too, just to make it safe. Just to make it safe. We're going to take it. Matter of fact, this is the gun you can have right here. Take this gun. We're going to give it to you. You can have a gun, but it's going to be ours. Because we closed down all the gun shops. right? Because we got tired of them selling to people illegally, allegedly. So we gonna close all them motherfuckers. Now guess what? We got government funded. We got government funded guns, right, for you, right? And then why we want to defund the police? We're gonna defund the police, all right? You know what I'm saying? Guess what? We're gonna defund the police and hire more federal agents. That way, everything is federal. If we come to your house, it's federal. We don't need the local police because guess what? The local police don't listen. If we get a federal task force, a federal police force with one rule, we're gonna eliminate all the other shit and we're gonna stick with this one set of rules throughout the whole country. This is the police reform for the whole country. And guess what? We're gonna have to abide by the rule because guess what? It's no more local police. It's only federal police. We got federal police and social workers.
They disarmed and attacked some Jews, but predominantly in 1933, it was against the political enemies.
Police Chief Murray of the Baltimore.
Political enemies. You are the political enemies that's watching this video. They're going to disarm your ass. Be prepared.
Police Chief Murray. Police Chief Murray.
Look, he can't even read. Look at him. Look at him. He can't even fucking read. This motherfucker said mayor and Barry and all kind of shit. Look at him. He can't even fucking read.
Police Chief Murray of the Baltimore. Police Chief Murray. Police Chief Murphy.
Motherfucker went from Barry to Murphy. What kind of shit is that? Barry and Murphy. They should have put an earbug in his ear. Barry Murphy.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Talked about how he's coordinating more closely with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATF, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI.
I'm glad he know what the FBI and ATF is. At least he got that shit out the way. He showed his cognitive skills.
To help take on criminal organizations committing violent crimes in the city.
Criminal organizations?
This kind of coordination is essential to keeping the weapons of war out of the hands of dangerous criminals.
Criminal organization? What criminal organization? Gangs? You should be worried about, if you're here to talk about gang violence in America, you should be talking about the gang violence, right? This is the root cause. If it, look, put it like this. If it was nobody killing nobody with guns and doing drive-bys and all that old shit, would you need to have a gun law? Think about it. If wasn't nobody robbing nobody in the streets, wasn't no motherfuckers doing drive-bys and shooting 13 motherfuckers in the club, shooting 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, would you really need a fucking gun law? That's because people kill people. Guns don't kill people. If everybody obeyed gun laws, right, wouldn't nobody be getting shot because everybody would be obeying the law. So you wouldn't need you can have as big of a gun as you want to because guess what? Everybody is obeying the law. But when you don't have people obey the law, that's on a fraction of them people, right? So you got so in order to for somebody to protect themselves, they had to get just as look, put it like this. When the LA riots was happening, the Hollywood shooting was happening at that bank shit, LAPD was outnumbered. The bank robbers came up there with fucking full body armor. They was walking down the street shooting motherfuckers with, you know what I'm saying, with rounds. Walking down the street in front of the car. Pop, 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 pop. Police hiding behind the cars running. The police have to go to gun shops and get bigger guns so they can fuck with the criminals, right? So after that, they passed a law, say, look, man, we need bigger guns because the criminals got bigger guns than the police. Well, guess what? The criminals going to have bigger guns than law-abiding citizens too. That's what you're going to get the criminals power to have.
Fugitives and gangs, as well as organized crime. And we won't ignore what our intelligence agencies have determined to be the most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today. White supremacy is terrorism.
White supremacy?
We're not going to ignore that either.
We go through a period of 5 years. In September, October 1938, they began to confiscate the guns from Jews. They knew who had them. The guns were registered.
Third, we discussed historic funding.
And your gun will be registered. They're going to know who got the guns. They know who's supposed to have guns. Because if everybody got to register their gun, and you simply don't register one that was legally yours before this law, Second Amendment right, or this law reform or gun reform come into place, the gun that was legally yours is not yours no more. It belongs to the government. You have to turn it in. Then when you turn it in, all the guns that you're supposed to have, you got to register. So guess what? They know who got the fucking guns, right? And that's not going to prove anything because guess what? We also don't know who don't got. I mean, we also don't know who do got the guns. We don't know if this criminal got a big ass gun on him. But you want to know everything about my shit.
We discussed historic funding. You know, they've not only had to fight this pandemic, they've also had to deal with economic crisis that has decimated their budgets, forced them to cut essential services.
He's talking about black people.
Including law enforcement and social services.
Law enforcement and social service. You see how they keep pushing this social service shit, right? Law enforcement and social service, right? They finna cut out the police. They defunding the police. They're trying not to have police have guns. They're not respecting the police. Police are retiring. Police are is nobody going to the academies. Is nobody inspiring to be police. Guess what? The police force in a couple of years is going to be dying the fuck out. Ain't nobody going to want to do the job. They can do private security. They can do private policing, right? They can do other fucking law enforcement jobs, but they don't have to do this shit. So the police force is going to be a dying fucking breed, a dying fucking commodity in the next couple of years. Ain't nobody going to want to fucking do the job. Look at the retirements. Look at the people getting murdered and shot and that can't go home to their family. You think that they're getting shot more than the fucking criminals? They're dying more than the fucking people that you're trying to reform the police for. I mean, that you're trying to take the guns away from or for. They getting shot more than these people. But you want to pass the gun law to take the guns off the street like these motherfuckers shooting the police with legal guns.
And amid the COVID-19 pandemic, they've had to deal with a second public health crisis, gun violence.
Monday was also one of Chicago's bloodiest days yet during the current crime wave. 7 killed, 11 wounded. Yesterday, 1 more was killed with 5 wounded by gunfire, including a 15-year-old boy shot in a drive-by.
The American Rescue Plan, which we passed.
Why Joe Biden ain't talking about that? Now he's using the rescue plan, the American Rescue Plan, right, to fight crime. That wasn't in the rescue plan. Everything about COVID was supposed to be up in that motherfucker. You didn't say nothing about drive-by shootings and war on finding people with guns. That wasn't in the rescue plan. Nobody signed that bill, but you had so much money in the fucking rescue plan. Now you got money to allocate to anything. Charge the fuck, way the money, way the fuck up there, and then anything come, we got the money for. Any problem, we ain't got to say, hey, yeah, we need the money for this. Everything comes out the CARE Act. I don't give a fuck what it is. It comes out the CARE Act. Now, the war on gang violence and violence in America is also coming out the CARES Act.
Passed in the first 100 days of my administration is providing much needed and historic relief to bring back those law enforcement jobs and social service jobs.
Bring back the law enforcement jobs. How? People not coming back to this shit. They're retiring. How you going to bring these jobs back? They should have never left. He talking about we're going to bring them back now. Why? You've been having to fund the police and refund the police and the war on police and the police need to reform and the police need to stop choking people out. You cheering on that the police got arrested. You cheering, you telling the jury to convict the police officer. You going to fucking criminals' funeral, having criminals fucking family members at the White House. You're going to criminals' houses. You're naming bills after crackheads? What the fuck? How is the gang violence less important than the gun violence?
Much of this relief has already arrived. The rest is on its way.
Huh? Now they finna take your money to so-called fight the war on violence. Now your taxpayer money was supposed to be going for the COVID is going on gang violence. They're trying to go. They're going to get to the root of the problem, just like the border, just like Mexico. They're going to get to the root of the problem, y'all.
And we're now providing more guidance on how they can use the $350 billion nationally that the American Rescue Plan has available to help reduce crime and address the root causes.
I never heard of a crime bill inside of the rescue plan. I never heard no money allocated to fight crime. It's supposed to be schools, infrastructure, Green New Deal. I didn't hear nothing about Pookie and Leroy in the motherfucker. I didn't hear nothing about the Deuce Gang versus the Ace Gang in this motherfucker. I didn't hear nothing about that. I didn't hear nothing about on the floor. We need to pass this bill to stop the gang violence in America. That wasn't said. Now all of a sudden you got money allocated, $350 billion. Okay, out of that $350 billion, how much is that is really going to help the fucking community or going to the community? Huh? That's going in the pockets. You said you're going to help some states, right? Soon as they get the state, they're like, oh, you know what? We're going to fund this money in somewhere else. Our police department is the funded motherfucker. Our budget is already gone. We told them we defunded the police by $3 billion. Guess what? They ain't getting none of this. We put this in healthcare services and this, and we're gonna put it in that. We're gonna put it in prevention and shit like that. We're not gonna put it where it needs to be put.
But of all the depressing headlines about inner city America in the past few days, I found one particularly disturbing. 57 dead in 50 days.
57 dead in 50 days.
As violence continues to ravage Baltimore City.
57 people dead in 50 days. That's one person every day in the fucking city. Now, people thinking about Chicago, like, okay, Chicago violence and shit like that. They have 4 or 5 cities just as violent or not as violent or not even more violent than Chicago. Detroit is violent. Oakland is violent. New York is violent. They got some violent ass cities. New Orleans is violent. They have some violent ass motherfucking cities inside of the United States that are ran by the Democratic Party, where crime is going up 200, 300%. Places you'd even fucking never heard of before. Such and such, such and such. You're like, what the fuck is that? How did crime go up there 200%? What kind of niggas live out there? Everywhere in a Democratic city, the percentage is going up. Not this gun violence, rape, assault, robberies, burglaries, car thefts, overdoses. Everything has went up. Why'd you concentrate on one thing like that's going to clean up, like that's going to really solve all the gang violence in the community? It's not.
Today, these two men, Christian St. Rose and Jamal Kingsborough, were arrested for the shocking midday execution of 34-year-old Tony Hegsbeth. Yet no protests, no marches.
For example, cities experiencing an increase in gun violence. We're able to use the American Rescue Plan dollars to hire police officers needed for community policing and to pay their overtime.
Community policing and overtime, right? What the fuck is community policing? Last time community police was stop and frisk. What is community policing this time? Stop and talk? That's how officers getting shot. When the police come to a door, they don't see the police as, okay, he's coming to talk. He's coming to arrest. They still have the mind frame of this is the police officer, and I'm fit to do what the fuck I need to do. They don't have the mind frame like, okay, this officer is reformed. This officer is going to obey whatever rules that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put in place. No, they think, okay, I need to get the fuck away. And this officer in the way. Most of these people are telling the officers, shoot me. Shoot me. The dude walking the alley, he shot 2 police officers. Police are getting shot because guess what? They can't defend themselves. They can't pull out a gun because guess what? They intimidating people. They scaring people. So now guess what? Since they can't do that shit no more, they get murdered at an all-time high.
Mayors will also be able to buy crime-fighting technologies like gunshot detection systems to better see and stop gun violence in their communities. They can use the funding to scale up wraparound services for the residents as well, including substance abuse and mental health services.
Substance abuse and mental health services. Look at this. Most of these motherfuckers own drugs. You're not finna get them off of no drugs. They're either selling drugs or taking drugs or both. You talking about putting rehabilitation centers in the fucking community like that's gonna stop it? Oh man, I was gonna do a drive-by, but guess what? That rehabilitation center is right there. I'm finna go to rehabilitation. I'm tired of doing drive-bys and sniffing powder cocaine and drinking lean and smoking cigarettes and getting high on weed. I'm tired of doing all that shit. So instead of doing that, I'm finna go do this motherfucking community service. Huh? You think they finna stop that? Because you put a fucking rehab center in the community with counselors? They already got them.
That we know will make a difference to prevention of crime.
You don't know shit.
Well, school's out for the summer. Teenagers are in tough neighborhoods. Who are in tough neighborhoods? No jobs, more trouble. We know summer jobs, training, and recreation for young people work.
What they gonna be training them? What they gonna train? Green New Deal jobs? They gonna work at the local Walmart, Walgreens, which was just fucking burned down. Where they work at Burger King, where robots are replacing them? Huh? Where they gonna work at? Huh? They gonna work at a job that an immigrant that already came over here and fucking took? What these youngsters gonna work at in their community, right? There's no place for them to work in their community. There's no job programs. There's no training centers or no internship jobs. There's no work in the community because guess what, Joe? The community is shut the fuck down. A lot of entry-level positions aren't entry-level positions no more because guess what? The pandemic been going on so long, motherfuckers start hiring robots. Google it. In Chicago, you go to drive-by, you gonna get a burger by motherfucking robot with some soda and some french fries to go with it.
They help make sure young people pick up a paycheck instead of a pistol.
Whoa.
And for folks at home, the American Rescue Plan, which is a once-in-a-generation investment to reduce violence in America.
Everything is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Is available. I'm proud of it. It means more police officers, more nurses, more counselors, more social workers.
More counselors and social workers. He ain't saying more police officers, more counselors and social workers to deal with the crime in America, y'all. Socialism. You can believe it or you don't.
Community violence interrupters to help resolve issues before they escalate into crimes.
They're going with the prevention. We're going to stop it before it happens because we're going to get them social workers to talk to them. We're going to get them counselors so they can understand their pain and stuff like that. We're not going to stop the gun violence. We're going to stop the guns and we're going to talk to them.
This is not a time to turn our backs on law enforcement or our communities. These are local programs that utilize trusted messengers, community members and leaders to work directly with people who are most likely to commit gun crimes.
They want to work with people who are most likely to commit gun crimes. Them people got to volunteer. You can't go knock on these people's doors. You're not going to go find these people. These people have to actually volunteer and want to do this. You're not putting nothing in place for these kids to have any alternative to gun violence or to not hanging out or to not selling drugs. You got to give these motherfuckers an alternative. You're talking about putting counselors in there. A counselor is not no motherfucking alternative.
Or become victims of gun crimes. We know who they are. They intervene before it's too late, these interrupters.
They want to intervene. They want to hire interrupters. What the fuck is an interrupter? Huh? What the interrupter gonna get his ass shot because if somebody gonna do a drive-by, I don't think no interrupter is gonna stop him. Oh, I'm gonna go kill somebody, but the interrupter jumped in the way of the fucking bullets. Huh? I don't think that's gonna happen.
turn down the temperature, halt the cycle of retaliation. Community violence intervention programs have shown a reduction in violence up to 60% in many places.
Where? Where the fuck is this reducing in crime for 60% at? In America? Where? Every place I heard is 60%. Now he's saying a program reduced crime by 40%, 60%. Where the fuck is this at? Joe Biden get his lie and nobody question him on it. Ain't no motherfucking 60% drop nowhere in America.
We heard from 2 community leaders that do this work, and Devon Bogan from Richmond, California. Now he runs a program that provides high-risk men with cognitive behavioral therapy.
That nigga needs some cognitive behavior therapy
to help them react to the impulses by slowing down rather than following through on the violence.
He's saying, look at him. They're going to put millions of dollars into counseling. You can't counsel these motherfuckers out here. You can't even teach them. How you going to counsel somebody you can't even teach?
It puts them in paid jobs to change their trajectory. The program has reduced shootings by 40%.
Where? Where's these numbers at? Where's Joe Biden getting these numbers from? Where the fucking shooting dropped 40%?
Devon runs a program across California and 6 other states that enroll high-risk individuals in peace fellowships, complete with intensive mentoring and social services.
This nigga lying about social services so he can get funding for funding for social workers and fucking, what do you call it, disruptors. Huh? He gonna pay people in the hood to not do shit. Them people ain't gonna do nothing.
And today I'm announcing that the White House will be working with 15 jurisdictions that are doing exactly that. We have enough
15 jurisdictions where they're gonna be putting counselors in replacement of police officers.
Opportunity to come together now as Democrats and Republicans, as fellow Americans, to fulfill the first responsibility of government on our democracy, to keep each other safe. Enough. Background checks, ban on assault weapons, repeal of liability shield for gun manufacturers.
I found in my research archives that have arrest reports of, yes, this person's a Jew. He's a danger to the German people. He has to be disarmed. He registered his guns in 1931 or 32.
Huh? And now who's a danger? And now who need to register the gun? They're doing the same thing. They're saying people are dangerous to society, or they're a danger to our democracy. The Democrats are following Hitler's plan to a fucking T.
As Vice President, I pushed hard to lift the freeze on gun violence research at the Center for Disease Control, the CDC.
That now the CDC is doing a research on gun violence. What? A research on gun violence? So you mean to tell me this program, right? Are you raising all this fucking money to do research on gun violence? Huh? They're not trying to stop the crime, y'all. They're not hiring extra police to find these people out here that's already murdering people, that's already done killed people, right? They're not put people in place to protect the community from a strong police presence, right? I think a strong police presence will deter somebody from doing a drive-by more than a fucking counselor. Huh? I was going to do something, but I saw a counselor. No, a strong police presence. Police walking through the community. Police parking in the community. Fucking task vans. You got to make a presence like Donald Trump said. You got to win the fucking streets. Huh? How you going to sit up here and be timid and you going to send counselors to somebody, to a domestic violence call? This dude earlier who shot the police in the face was just beating the shit out of his wife. You think he would have listened to a drug and alcohol counselor telling him what the fuck he should do with his life and how he should treat his woman and his kid? No, that person should be in jail because guess what? Who knows what he would have done to the baby mama or the little kid if the police wouldn't have got there. If you would have sent a fucking counselor, the baby mama and the kid could have been dead.
Guess what? Why should they not be able to study gun violence and what causes it?
And they disarmed them, and then we have in November the attacks on the whole Jewish community after they were disarmed, Rice Kristallnacht, or the Night of the Broken Glass.
But there's been a block on it. I want to unfreeze that. As president, my budget doubles funding for the gun violence research at the CDC.
Double it. What the fuck did CDC? They should be dealing with China. What the fuck are they doing with dealing with guns for? The motherfuckers should be dealing with Corona.
And the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, to study gun violence as a public health threat that it is.
So you could understand when people in this country are against a registry for similar reasons. They don't want the government, whoever they decide to go after, if they decide to go after anybody, to be able to just say, okay, here's where the guns are, let's go get them.
Here's where the guns are, let's go get them. They're going to know whenever they want us to say, guess what? If they take an inch, they're going to take a mile. Because who to say that they don't think 9mm, these people shouldn't have 9mm. They may think people just need pea shooters. Who the fuck knows?
Folks, this shouldn't be a red or blue issue. It's an American issue. We're not changing the Constitution. We're enforcing it.
We're not changing it. You're enforcing it. Come on.
Be reasonable. We're taking on the bad actors doing bad and dangerous things in our communities and to our country.
The community into our country. He's not worried about the communities because he's not doing nothing for the communities. He's doing something so far for the country. Studying how the root of gang violence and violence in America, that's not helping no communities. Right? Hiring counselors, that's not helping no communities. How is it helping the community? Everything you're talking about is supposedly helping the country. We're going to do research. We're going to give money out to this. We're going to give money out to the states. We're going to give money so they can do drug and alcohol counseling. We're going to give money. Come on. You're throwing money at the problem.
Talk to most responsible gun owners and hunters. They'll tell you there's no possible justification for having 100 rounds in a magazine of a gun. Like I said before, what do you think? The deer wearing Kevlar vest? Responsible gun owners will tell you that there are too many people today who are able to buy a gun but shouldn't be able to buy a gun.
Huh? There's too many people who is these people? The Democrats? I know the conservatives, they want to expand gun rights. They don't want to restrict them. They wish everybody had a gun.
The Americans, you can read the New York Times from those days that I was just talking about, and they reported these events. They reported when the registration decree came down in 1931. They really reported the Night of the Broken Glass very extensively, including Heinrich Himmler's decree that a Jew with a gun would get 20 years in a concentration camp. Americans read about this, and that's why the Congress has never enacted gun registration.
Until now, they taken up after where Hitler done fucking done.
The bottom line is this. Let's show the world and show ourselves that democracy works. My fellow Americans.
They do?
We have to come together.
If democracy worked, why is you always trying to separate the country by calling one group of people in the country racist and they need to be dealt with? Every chance you get, look at him.
To rebuild trust between law enforcement and the people they serve, to root out systemic racism in our criminal justice system, and to enact police reform in George Floyd's name.
Some states have registration laws of various kinds, but most states do not, and Congress resisted it. In fact, Congress passed a law in 1941 before the attack on Pearl Harbor saying that they're going to respect Second Amendment rights and guns would not be registered.
And will not allow extremists and white supremacists to overturn the America of Lincoln and Harriet Tubman.
See how everything, right, and supremacist, every chance he get, every speech Joe Biden fucking holds, he mentioned white supremacists.
And Frederick Douglass. We can come together as one nation. We can do this and save lives.
Do you think if more people, and hopefully through your book, Gun Control in the Third Reich, as more people become aware of this, that they will become very, very adamant about never having a national registration and even fighting the statewide registrations?
Well, the book is, first of all, it's a history book. This is what happened. History doesn't always repeat itself. Sometimes it does.
Well, I'm not even saying it will, but as a safeguard, do you think people will look at this and say, whoa?
I think reasonable minds could draw an implication from that that's something that maybe we don't want, just like Gestapo techniques, search and seizure issues, all these issues, privacy rights, that there are a big bundle of things there that exist in totalitarian societies and existed predominantly in Nazi Germany, for example. We don't want to repeat any of that, so let's be careful what we wish for.
Huh? What we wishing for? Joe Biden is trying to deliver, right? Instead of it's Jews, is white supremacists. The Jews was the enemy then. Is white supremacy the enemy now?
Cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. And now, a rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism, that we must confront and we will defeat.
Huh? Look at it. White supremacists.
According to an unclassified summary of the March Intelligence Assessment, the two most lethal elements of the domestic violence extremist threat are racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists and militia violent extremists. In the FBI's view, the top domestic violent extremist threat comes from racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocated for the superiority of the white race.
If we don't,
white race. This was they're trying to say that white people. That's it of everything whites look at. Look,
the white supremacy. When asked whether what he would.
But anyway, right? I just want y'all to know, right? Okay, I'm gonna watch this game. That the Democrats are using the same tactics as Hitler. Now, if you study how Hitler and things like that gained control, it's the same book the Democrats is using, right? So when Donald Trump was telling you about your freedom and how shit was going to get taken over, if you're listening, liberals, this is exactly what the fuck we was talking about. Study Hitler, study your history, and don't let history repeat itself. They can't necessarily say we're going to we don't like Trump supporters and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So they have to make up shit. They got to invent shit. They're still talking about January 6th, holding commissions and all this other shit on January 6th, while they ain't holding no commissions on Black Lives Matter, the protests during the summer of love, Antifa. They're not doing nothing on none of them. People taking money out of Black Lives Matter. People murdering out of Antifa. None of that shit. It's only thing they're investigating, and the only thing they need to stop is white supremacy. Nothing else. Everything else is off the fucking table. Well, that's it for this show, you know what I'm saying? But just know, they are coming for your ass and your Second Amendment rights, right? Just like the socialist people in fucking Germany. Your rights are no longer your rights. I'm out this bitch. Till next time. I thought I was going to have my camera and stuff like that, but I guess it comes tomorrow, so I thought I was going to be able to do a live show like right here with the camera and the background and all that shit, so evidently that shit come tomorrow, hopefully. So hopefully next show I will be doing a different show with the camera and all that. We would hopefully next tomorrow. I'm out.